Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Just want to give you guys a quick little show here, probably 10, 15 minutes long, an injury update in terms of what happened in the Colts game last night and exactly who got hurt, what the severity seems to be at these early stages. Obviously, we're awaiting testing and things like that when the Packers get back into Green Bay, which they're probably already back in Green Bay and looking to take care of that over the next 24 to 48 hours. So we'll hit that. We'll hit the Barryn Sorrell injury. We'll show you the tape of the injury along with the Marshawn Lloyd injury as well. And then we'll just briefly mention Omar Brown, who obviously spent some time in the hospital. But before we do that, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If you're new here, hey, welcome into PTA. Thank you for making us a part of your day. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We don't claim to be any of that. What we are fans just like you in here talking Packers on the daily. So if you're looking for pregame shows, postgame shows, in-depth analysis, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. I apologize for the voice. Spent the night over at some fights, and it got a little rowdy, a little screaming, so the voice box is definitely hanging on for dear life here. So with that being said, let's just jump into it here real quick. Barryn Sorrell, all right? I just put a tweet out earlier today. I was combing through the tape. I've made my second pass through the All-22 now, and caught the injury to Barryn Sorrell. Just going to roll it here on X instead of going full telestrator for you guys and gals. But here is the clip. Okay, you'll notice it was a special teams play, a punt play. So he was kind of gunning, not really gunning, but coming down the field here to make the tackle, to look to make the tackle. You'll notice him right here. He's going to cut back across the field, and we'll try to go slow motion here for you. And you'll notice right here, this is your long snapper, Matt Orzech, right? He kind of missed the tackle. And you'll see he climbs up to make the tackle. Now you're seeing Barryn Sorrell come into the picture right here. And you'll notice Matt Orzech wraps up the tackle, swings around, and then unfortunately catches the knee there of Barryn Sorrell. Now, again, I don't want to play this like too much. We'll give you a couple shots of it because obviously it doesn't look gruesome or anything, but it's hard to see these young guys take an injury like this. But you can see Matt Orzech swinging around. And listen, in no way, shape, or form is this a shot at Matt Orzech. He's out there playing hard, long snapper all the way down the field trying to make the tackle, right? And just clipping the knee there. It's just friendly fire, man. This is football. Barryn Sorrell making a hustle play. Obviously, Matt Orzech trying to make a hustle play as well. And you'll see when he goes to get up, he's a little hesitant. They're trying to help him up, but it looks like there was something going on with the knee. Now, I will say this. It looks bad, right? When you see that clip, that's the type of stuff that you see. Wow. When someone comes in, they get rolled up on, and you get kind of that side swipe with the knee, you immediately think ligaments, things like that. We have heard nothing official from the Packers. And just combing through Twitter, I've noticed several people saying, hey, he was actually riding the bike a little later in the game. He was walking around on the sidelines, looked okay. Obviously, went into the blue tent. I personally didn't see that, so I'm just going off of hearsay. Please understand that, full disclosure. Hopefully, I hope that's the case, right? Barryn Sorrell's shown flashes. He's the type of guy that you can tell he's going to be a good teammate. You can tell he plays hard. You see, this is a hustle play. If he's not hustling his ass off, he doesn't even take this hit, right? So it's just one of those things, man. It's just kind of a freak play, and hopefully he'll be okay, sooner rather than later. So let's at least keep our ear to the Twitter streets and see when the news does come down the pocket. I know they're going to test it. I'm sure it's sore today. So even though he may have gotten up on the bike, walking around the sideline, there's a good chance that he wakes up this morning, got some swelling, things like that. So again, we'll keep our eye on that. I see everybody following in the chat. Just doing a quick episode here, guys, to give you guys some information on what we know about the injuries up to this point, as we had 3 guys. I believe it was 3 to the best of my knowledge. They got banged up in that game. And let's see here. We got Ray in the chat. You guys do a great job on here. Thanks. Hey, thank you, Ray. Thank you for the kind words, man. We appreciate your support. And you guys in the chat, y'all are the ones that make this thing go. There's no doubt about it. King Tron, hey, Clay, what do you think about the game as a whole? I was honestly happy with the performance. Those dang penalties cost us a lot, but imagine if we clean that up. I think that's very well said, Tron. The penalties are a problem. Don't get me wrong. But when you seen the illegal formation penalties yesterday, it's my knowledge, I'm hearing that the officials are really trying to crack down on that in the preseason. You guys know how this goes. I don't agree with how they do it, but every year they'll put emphasis on a particular play. They'll call it like crazy in the preseason. Then it dwindles off. When you start the season, the regular season, it's like it doesn't get called as much. And then it never fails later in the season at somewhat crucial moments. All of a sudden, that'll become an issue again, right? So, again, that's something just, with the penalties, I don't want to like brush it off like it's nothing, Tron, because we are a young team and penalties were an issue last year. The Anthony Belton stuff, I think he got called for illegal formation, illegal procedure, whatever it is, lining up off sides or lining up too far back. I think it was not being on the line of scrimmage, I believe was the official call. It was like 2-3 times in a row, right? Now, outside of that, Belton had some problems as well. So if you remove Belton's penalty problems, I don't feel as bad about, the penalty issue yesterday. But with that being said, I think they cleaned it up in the second half, right? So we'll keep our eye on it, though, man. Now, the overall game as a whole, I thought they played well. The Colts played a bunch of starters, if not all their healthy starters. I haven't looked into actual snap count, things like that, but I know that was the plan, was for them to play some of the starters. You've seen Daniel Jones out there, right? Daniel Jones, you think, well, he's not the starter. Anthony Richardson came in after him. So there's a quarterback battle going on there. So the fact that they have both those guys out there, I believe I remember seeing Jonathan Taylor out there as well. And I want to say late into the second quarter, it seems like there was a flash of that. So with that being said, we'll keep our eye on it, though. I think it was a solid game. The fact that they did go up against, a lot of starters there in Indianapolis. So I thought they played pretty well. First half was a little bit of a stinker. Elgersma surprised me. Like, I thought Elgersma looked kind of the part. However, PFF disagreed. We'll give you a full breakdown on that this evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We go live for PTA Live. Coach Monken here says, where do you think Marshawn Lloyd is going to make the team awfully injury prone? Yeah, see, here's the thing about Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, and I understand there's been a lot of injuries. Matter of fact, let's just shift gears into that. That's the next one we're going to cover here real quick. Coach Monk, it's kind of easy to say, oh, this player's injury prone, that player's injury prone, but you got to look at the details of each individual injury, right? With Marshawn Lloyd, there's nothing he can do to prevent having an emergency appendectomy last year, right? Now, I understand he was banged up before that. I got you. But that essentially, if I remember correctly, ended his season last year. When you come out this year, he takes kind of a funky hit from Nate Hobbs. They said he actually tweaked that injury before the hit. I don't know if that was true or not. I wasn't there on the practice field, and if the coaches say one thing, I'm just going to take their word for it. This play here with Marshawn Lloyd, as you guys see, this was Marshawn Lloyd's final play of yesterday's preseason matchup against the Colts. Perfectly executed wheel route for a 33-yard gain. The injury he suffered on this play is being reported now as a hamstring issue. It's funny, if you guys were tuning into our post-game show yesterday, I said I thought it might be a concussion because he got ear hold, and then it kind of looked like his head snapped down and might have hit the turf. After looking at it, I don't think his head hit the turf that hard, if it did at all. And then everybody in the chat was saying, no, they're saying it's an ankle. It's an ankle. It ends up being a hammy. So here's the play. Let's just play it real quick. You guys see he comes out of the backfield on the wheel route. I'll slow it down and give you a zoomed in look. So you see right here, to me, it looks like he's kind of stumbling. And I'm wondering, as he leaned over to catch that ball, did he tweak the hammy there? Or was it the player diving at the feet here? As you can see, could have been right there, right? It kind of looks like he's going down before that, though. So I was wondering, did he pull a hammy or something like that and tweak that thing? As he was kind of trying to raise up from the catch, right? Now, you'll see the ear hole here, bang. That's what I was talking about. I thought, man, maybe it's a concussion. As you can see, it's just a pretty good lick. And I'll be honest with you, I thought it was somewhat of a dirty hit. I'm usually not that guy that goes on Twitter or anywhere and be like, oh, they're a dirty player, because the game's happening so fast. But this dude gets a full head of steam, comes over, lowers his head, and just ear holes him, right? If a Packer does that, you're probably not hearing me complain. But it does look a little bit dirty to me. However, it ends up being the hammy. So I don't think it was anything to do with a concussion. So hopefully he comes back soon because, guys, he shows some explosion. I mean, like when you watch this wheel route, that's not that's not a route and a catch that a lot of running backs make. And I've seen some people on X saying, man, that reminded me of Aaron Jones. I'm with you. I'm with you. It was somewhat special, I think. And you can see when he goes to get up, you can tell, oh, something's wrong. And right there, I'm thinking he might be slightly concussed because you can see him trying to kind of gather himself. But as you watch it in its entirety, it does kind of look like maybe the hem he gave out right there is what I'm thinking, because he kind of see how he's starting to go down already. And then you get kind of that awkward, you get ear holding and another guy's going at your ankles. So it's just a tough break for Marshawn Lloyd. So again, for me, I'm not willing to say he's injury prone or anything like that. And I'm sure Coach Muck, you don't mean anything by that, right? Like he said, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for him. I got you, man. I completely understand. And I understand the skepticism too, because when a player is just constantly injured and there's multiple injuries, multiple body parts, multiple things going on, it's hard to kind of to be positive about it, right? But you could tell the kid's got a lot of talent. Now, in the run game, he didn't do much yesterday, but when you look at the run blocking and what was actually the yards that were on the field, I don't watch the tape and go, boy, he looks bad running the football. I just thought he hit the hole like he was supposed to, showed some explosion. But out of the backfield, you could tell they really want to utilize him on some of those wheel routes. They tried a couple times to get him out of the backfield. So we'll keep an eye on Marshawn Lloyd. We should know here in 24 to 48 hours exactly what's going on there. So here, let's see what RRS Smith says in the chat here. If Quick Twitch were a player, it would be Lloyd. Not surprised his hamstrings are an issue. Really hoping at some point he can string together practice games with no incident. Need to see him with Josh. Completely agree. And that's the other thing too. As you watch him run, and listen, I'm not trying to compare him to one of the all-time greats, Bo Jackson. Okay, don't take this the wrong way. But the thing that hurt Bo Jackson, many people think it was a hit that destroyed his hip. But when that happened, a guy grabbed him, if I remember correctly, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, they grabbed him around the waist, and he was so strong as he broke the tackle, he pulled his whole hip kind of out of place. And you'll see like people like Christian Watson, who's got so much explosion, so much athletic ability, man, sometimes the body just can't hold up to the torque and the explosion you're creating. And I see a little bit of that in Marshawn Lloyd, and I think that's what R.R. Smith 30 is saying here. It does kind of feel like that, right? He's very, very twitchy in that regard. So, yeah. All right, Aaron. Aaron here says, Clayton, I heard you fought your cousin over the last piece of pie last night. Aaron, it was rowdy out there, man. My goodness. We got some footage, and we may show a little on the show tonight from the Redneck Brawl, but there were several arrests. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Luckily, we made it out of there and made it home last night. So yeah, it was a good time. It's fun. It's more comedy than true boxing, obviously, but there were a couple good fights in there as well. So last one we want to hit here real quick. I did not pull a video on this. I did not have time to. And I'll be honest with you, man, I really don't like showing videos of injuries. It just, I don't know, man. You got somebody who's not only have they spent their whole life trying to put this football career together, right? And they've made it through the ranks of high school, and they get recruited in college, and then they make it through college, and they're building their body, and they're getting themselves ready for this unique opportunity that only the elite of the elite of the elite in the entire planet can do in the NFL. And then you finally make it there, and you're starting to put some stuff on film, and you get injured. It's just something I don't enjoy covering, but at the same time, we need to cover it. So, however, yes, there was, Jay. There were several arrests. Rob Demovsky tweeted out, Packers coach Matt LaFleur called Omar Brown's injury, quote, a scary deal. He's staying overnight in Indy because of a chest contusion. Baron Sorrell has a knee injury. Of course, we covered all that. So just specifically talking to Omar Brown, I haven't heard anything else yet. I think he was going to be in the hospital potentially overnight, and it sounded like it was a lung issue. So he took a pretty strong lick. And you guys know Omar Brown flashed at family night and showed a lot of promise. Now, I didn't really ever – I know the guys disagree with me. It feels like that on the show. But I never felt like, okay, this guy's going to be on the 53. But I thought, boy, he's making a case to try to have himself protected on the practice squad all year and probably get called up a time or two, right? But that's a scary deal there, man. They had – I think somebody said an oxygen mask on him. So, obviously the lungs, something happened with the lungs. So thoughts and prayers go out to Omar Brown. We'll wait and see if we hear anything else on his injury situation. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to jump in here real quick and give you guys a quick rundown. Those are the 3 injuries that stood out to me. If there's anything we missed, you guys put it in the comments there. Let us know what you think about those situations. And listen, as always on this channel, be respectful, not to me, but to the players, right? Like, let's don't get in there calling people soft and made of glass and stuff like that. I want my channel to be here on YouTube, Packer Fan Total Access. I want it to be something where players' family, players' parents, they come and look at our comments and they go, that's a respectable group of fans, right? Again, that's just my golden rule. If you wouldn't say it to somebody's face, don't say it on the internet. And I understand that's not for everybody, but that's just kind of the way I see it. So with that being said, there's your injury update. We'll be back tonight, guys, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Boy, do we got a lot to cover. We got the PFF grades. We've got so we got the PFF grades. We got the tape already breaking down. Jordan Morgan looked good. I don't want to, spoil it all for you. Tyron Hopper. Several players will look into the tape either tonight or tomorrow, but we'll be breaking down the PFF grades and just having a discussion around who helped themselves yesterday and maybe who stock fell a little bit in terms of trying to make the 53 and ultimately the top 70 there with the practice squad. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys want to support the show, the best way to do so is to join our Patreon group. You can do that by going to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. I mentioned that right now because we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight, an autographed Dontavion Wicks rookie card. All you got to do is be a member of the $3 tier. On Patreon, we got a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. $3 tier gets you everything on the side. Okay, all the extra content it unlocks. The 5 and the 10 is just there for someone wants to be extra generous, which there's several people that have, and we greatly appreciate it. However, these giveaways are a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. If you're not familiar with Patreon, you can always join on YouTube and get entered into the giveaways as well. Just be a YouTube member here on YouTube. I do recommend Patreon because you get a whole lot more content. You got chats in there. We got a fantasy football league. Actually 2. We filled the first one up so fast. We're fielding a second fantasy football league. So if you want to get in on that action, make sure you join the Patreon group and jump in the fantasy football chat and say, hey, I'd like a spot there as well. So with that being said, we will see you guys tonight, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Everybody have an awesome day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.